If you could learn one thing that I would guarantee you will boost your ability to be attractive and have people chase you, it would be abundance or pre-selection. Psychologically, this is one of the only proven factors that will increase your attractiveness. And it makes sense, really. If you are surrounded by people who look like they're attracted to you, whether they're attracted to you or not, anyone else that sees everybody being attracted to you will just naturally assume you're attractive, and they'll want to know why. And that wanting to know why means they're going to want to get to know you, they're going to want to find out more about you, and that intrigue triggers attraction. Now, I've explained in a previous video, which if you haven't watched yet, you absolutely should, about why psychologists have found and how they found that pre-selection or abundance is such a powerful trigger on attraction. In fact, in the study that I showed, it can improve your quality of attraction by 2 points on a 1 to 10 scale, meaning that if you're naturally a 5, it will boost you up to a 7, or if you're a 7, it will take you up to a 9, so on and so forth. So pre-selection or abundance is a very powerful thing. But why do so many people get it wrong? I think one of the first things is people have this desire to want to own other people. And so what happens is you'll get somebody that's like, I don't want to have friends that are women because I want to date them. But like, let's be real, you can't date absolutely everybody, right? The way you might like the idea of it, that is something that comes from a fear or a lack of abundance mentality. When you don't have a lot, you kind of like the idea of having everything. Whereas the reality is if you did have every single woman that you possibly know, you wouldn't have enough time to spend with them. You wouldn't have enough money to, to provide for them. And ultimately, you would constantly be being drugged from bedroom to bedroom to bedroom. And while that might sound fun for like a day, after that you'll get tired and bored, and you'll really just want to settle down with, a few people or one person or whatever it is that you want. So the whole point is the fear that you're not controlling all of them, or that you're not in a relationship with all of them, you're stuck in the friend zone, is just not true. The reason that people have a fear of the friend zone is because they have experienced a situation where there was somebody that they fell for, that they had feelings for, and that other person didn't feel the same way. You're not actually scared of the friend zone, you're scared of unrequited love. You're scared of loving someone and they don't love you in return. And pre-selection is one of the easiest ways to solve that. While it may not solve it for the one person that you're friends with, it will solve it for everybody else. In fact, there is no faster way of getting out of the friend zone than by a friend who hangs out with you seeing a bunch of other people naturally attracted to you. I actually have a lot of people that will hire me for my private consultations. These people will, they'll sign up for a period of about 3 months. And to study with me for 3 months is usually, you get a bulk deal on the training, but usually paying about $10,000. And so I have this package, it's $10,000 where for 3 months I'll work with somebody and I'll help them get out the friend zone. And in almost every single situation, we help them succeed, and it's always the same way. We get them a whole bunch of attractive friends that develop pre-selection or abundance for them, and then the person that they were stuck in the friend zone with suddenly says, I see you differently, I want to go out to dinner with you, or you spend too much time with all these other women and they don't appreciate you the way I do. And the whole situation's reversed, and they're no longer in the friend zone and they've got people chasing them. But the key is you have to do abundance correctly, and a lot of people do it wrong. So let's talk about some of the things that people do wrong. The first thing is they'll meet somebody and then they'll start dating that one person. And now they can't develop abundance because you didn't have any other friends that were, attractive people when you first met this person. So when they first got to know you, they didn't know you as somebody with abundance. They knew you as somebody who only had them. Then if you go out to try and get abundance after jumping into that relationship, you're going to struggle because now you're trying to start a whole bunch of new friendships and your person you're dating is going to be like, what are you doing? The best way to start abundance is from a situation where you don't have anybody else, and you start by developing the friendships first. I was lucky. When I first started dating, I went out there and I knew that I didn't want to jump into a relationship with anybody. So I actually made it very clear when I met people right at the very beginning, hey, just so you know, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just looking to meet as many people as possible and having great friendships. That shifted my entire mentality because I went with a mentality to learn dating, but what I learned was the power of abundance, because it meant that every woman that I hung out with, I was framing it that I just wanted to be friends. And what happened was, as I practiced all of the different dating techniques, for example, as I developed my confidence and as I practiced using my escalation, which are 2 things we're going to be teaching you about in the future videos, what happened was these people that I was just friends with were naturally drawn to me and wanting to have sex with me. And I realized that I was actually getting a lot of attraction by keeping myself in the friend zone. So I never had a fear of the friend zone. I actually like it. I like being friends with beautiful women because I find that women go through a period where, they're unavailable because they're dating somebody else, so they just don't want to date anybody right now. And then they go through this single period where they'll reach out to you, especially if you're friends with them. In fact, literally yesterday, I got a text message from somebody that I went to school with when I was 16 years old. And we've been friends on Facebook for years, but she's been in a relationship. And she messaged me out of the blue. Hey, I haven't seen you since school. I just wondered what's up. I thought it'd be really cool to connect. And so I messaged her. I was like, hey, out of curiosity, I thought you were dating somebody. Knowing the next thing she said, which was, yeah, we actually broke up yesterday. And so this is obviously somebody reaching out. Now they're single and they're now in that open period. And what's cool is if you've got like 20 beautiful friends that really like you, but they're all in relationships, at different points, their availability will be open. And when that happens, they'll reach out to you. And what's great is if you've done your escalation, your confidence correctly, and you've framed things for what you want, then you can set it up to be a relationship or to be an open relationship or to be whatever it is that you want. And you have a much better chance of success. Now, the key to developing abundance is to have a reason to hang out with people. If I could teach you one thing, it would be this. Now, I actually have this entire program that we teach called the ACE Formula. And in the ACE Formula, we break down abundance into a huge sequence of modules that we teach people over a couple of months. And it really does take that long to learn it. But if I could summarize it into just one piece, and this isn't all of it, this really is just one teeny tiny piece, but it's all about having a reason to hang out with somebody. And I find that a lot of guys, they'll never have a reason to hang out with women. They'll always be like, let's go for a coffee, or let's go to the movies, or let's go to dinner. They're not reasons to hang out with somebody. That's just something you do every day, right? You have coffee every day. You go to dinner every day. You go to the movies once a week or once a month. These aren't real reasons to hang out with somebody. True friendships aren't based over dinner or coffee or the movies. They're both based over shared interests. You think about it, your best friends growing up went to college with you and you had a shared interest in college, or you played the same sports, or you enjoyed the same sports. There had to be some form of shared interest. And one of the things that we help people develop is the correct shared interest so that all of the beautiful people that you're hanging out with that you want to be naturally attracted to have the same interest as you. And this is where I like to work with people one-on-one because developing what that interest is can be difficult. For example, you might really like the idea of Formula One racing, but there aren't as many women as you think that are into that. That doesn't mean that you can't make that work. In fact, I've absolutely helped somebody make Formula One racing work specifically. And they were surrounded by those beautiful women that you see at the Formula One racetracks, all those promo girls. But there is an art to doing that. And that's why, we work with people over a period of months to do that. But I will tell you a time that was very easy for one of my students who just took the idea and ran with it. So when I was based in Atlanta, he came and did some studying with me, hired me for a weekend, and we established that he really liked, in his word, artsy girls. And he had an interest in art. So what we did was we turned his living room into an underground art gallery. We set up an event on meetup.com for people to come to his house to check out underground art. Now this is very important. He naturally had an interest in art. We didn't fake this, we weren't forcing it. He genuinely liked art and spent his time going to galleries. And in fact, he had a dream to one day own a gallery. So we brought his dream of owning a gallery to life. What happened was we put hooks on the wall all around his room, and then he would invite people once a month to come to his house to see art. And then any artists he knew, he would invite them to display their art once a month in his home gallery. The cost to him was putting some hooks in the wall, and he would provide small snacks and some alcohol for everybody, some cheap champagne. And it started out very small. His first meetup group only had, I think, about 4 people come by, and he had a few pictures on the walls. Come the third meetup, after we've been working together for a couple of months, he had literally 60 or 70 people arrive at this event. He had artwork from a number of different artists on the walls, and all of the people there were so into him that his dating life skyrocketed. Now, I'm not going to say that what he wanted is the same for everybody, and I'm not saying that you should turn your living room into a gallery, but I am going to tell you that one of his big dreams was to sleep with multiple people, and I still have the picture in my phone somewhere that he sent me with him lying down and 4 naked women writhing all over him in some big, massive, champagne-induced artistic orgy that was something he'd always wanted. And while that might not necessarily be something that you want, the point is it was triggered because he took the steps to develop that friendship. Now, you don't have to go about creating a big event. You don't have to do that to develop that abundance. There are a number of ways of doing it. In fact, one of the ways that I don't teach in my private programs, but I absolutely have taught before, is to reach out to family members who are of a similar age to you, but don't really get to go out with anybody. For example, I've got a cousin who lives in France who's in her, late 20s, but she's absolutely beautiful and all of her friends are beautiful. And if I was ever in France, rather than going there and thinking, how am I going to meet people, I would say to my cousin, hey, do you want to grab some of your girlfriends, come out for a night in the town? I don't really know where's good. I'll be more than happy to buy some drinks and it'd be fun to go out with a group of people. Now, I've instantly got abundance. I'm reaching out to a family member, I'm getting her to hang out with her friends. I'm not going to do anything with my family member, obviously, because we're family, and I'm not going to do anything with her friends, because I don't want to ruin the family situation. But I do get abundance. And when I walk into that bar, surrounded by all those beautiful women who are laughing and talking and joking with this English guy who lives in America, I'm going to look attractive. And then it's only a matter of time before I can see some local, lock eye contact with them, and then using the techniques that you're going to learn in the confidence video and in the escalation video, I'd be able to take that and make something happen. Now what's cool about this is I didn't have to organize a big event, I didn't have to do anything that was big and difficult. All I had to do was reach out to a family member and not be afraid to suggest a situation I actually wanted to happen, which of course comes from confidence. Now, one of the main reasons why people don't set this up is because they think it's going to be difficult, they think it's going to be too much effort. But I promise you, what sounds worse? Reaching out to a family member and inviting them out with some other beautiful women to come and hang out with you, or going out night after night, spending money on alcohol and failing, having situations when everyone rejects you and doesn't want to be with you because you don't have natural attraction. I've found that from a situation where I'm surrounded by women who are laughing and giggling with me, I'll have people come up to me and offer to buy me drinks, offer to come back to my place. All of the stress and effort goes away, and rather than the effort of the entire relationship being on me, the only amount of effort I have to put in is making sure I have abundance. And I do this all the time. I'm at a point where people know if they invite me somewhere, they're like, hey Adam, are you bringing your entourage? Because wherever I go, I'll be surrounded by at least one, sometimes two, and sometimes many more beautiful women. And that is a standard part of my life, and it's something that should become a standard part of yours. Now, obviously, what I'm doing here is a high level. And when I actually work with people, which, hopefully we get to do one day, I'll help you develop a specific system for you to help you get the abundance that you want. And, you might not want to organize events. You might want to use something that's a bit more passive. You might want to have a situation where you travel a lot and you can't organize something on a regular basis, or the idea of organizing an event might intimidate you. And actually, one of the cool things about that is I can even show you how you can use online dating, how you can use advertising in a bunch of different ways to naturally create pre-selection that isn't based on on your ability to go out and meet people and do things. In fact, I actually have a very good friend of mine who hired me to help create a custom abundance system for him. And what he ended up doing was creating a charity. It was something that he really wanted to do anyway. And that charity event that he organized naturally drew people to him, which gave him the abundance that he wanted. And then all he does is at the charity events, he invites the people that he likes to come and hang out with him on his yacht. And they go and hang out on the lake on his yacht. And he's got all the abundance he wants. And they're just hanging out on the boat, but they met each other through the charity. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. And it does make sense to identify what your custom situation is. I've helped people build a custom situation around Comic-Con where they organize the official after party, and I've helped people create custom situations where they get paid to go to nightclubs and bring people there as promoters and use that situation. So there really are many different ways of doing it, and it's a lot easier if we can do it in person. And if you stick with all these videos and you watch all of them, I'll make sure that at the very end I give you an opportunity to actually talk to a member of our team and maybe discuss what your custom solution might look like. And again, these consultations normally cost money, but I'd be willing to give you access to one of them completely for free if you can stick with this training and actually take it seriously. So if you're willing to watch the next videos, then you will get access to one of those consultations. So watch very carefully over the next couple of days as these videos come out so you don't miss out on that opportunity to get that. Now, once again, I hope you took down notes and took pen and paper. If not, it's absolutely worth rewatching this video and taking down any notes and maybe brainstorming what kind of abundance you would like to develop for yourself, how you're going to go about doing it. Are you going to do it in a very quick way by reaching out to people you already know, or you can maybe going to do something that's a little bit longer, and you can start forming that plan and piecing it together. Now, in the next video, we're going to be talking about confidence. We're going to talk about a lot of the issues why people struggle with confidence, the difference between overconfidence and timidness, and we're going to talk about how you can develop a long-lasting confidence that never goes away. Do not miss out on that video. It's very important you watch it. It's going to be coming out tomorrow, and there will be a button on this video that you'll be able to click through to watch it as well. So don't miss out on that video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.